everybody, RaspberryBeryl here. Now we're reading the biographies of Star the Underestimated, Part 5. Please forgive me if I stutter, hesitate, or mispronounce anything, or if my voice is bad. I have been, so far, recording all of these Star biographies straight, and it's been some hours, and I'm tired, but I'm determined to just keep going. We left off with Star with the premiere of Season 4, and Star finally got her mother back. Let's begin. Star Marco and her parents rode in the next morning, and Star welcomed her mother to what would be their new home at the Monster Temple. Eclipsa was thrilled to see Moon safe and sound, and ran over asking for forgiveness and hugging her. Moon was still trying to regain her memory and didn't quite remember what Eclipsa had done to her. Princess Star was very worried about her mom seeing Globgor crystallized in the other room, and worked very hard for her mother to not see it. They did many things, such as Moon and Eclipsa playing some instruments together, but then Moon disappeared and was found staring at Globgor. Star was worried, but to her amazement, her mom was not mad. They all had a nice dinner together, and then Moon and River got up to leave. Star ran to them and asked why they were leaving. She thought that they were having a good time. Moon told Star that she still didn't really trust Eclipsa, and that she and River were going to just try to live in a yurt in the woods. Star told her mom okay, but she was going to stay here for a while longer and help Eclipsa get things sorted out. Moon told Star she was very proud of her, as she turned into a very mature princess, and then they walked away. It was Spleenix's 10th. Star had decided she was going to go to the Lava Lake Beach with Tom on a little beach house vacation with his family. They surfed and were having fun, but then stopped because Star was supposed to meet up with Marco. It started to rain, and so Tom convinced her to stay, and they all went into the house. They sat down to play a game, but Star wanted to go into the kitchen and help Tom's mother. Star asked if there was any way she could help, but ended up messing up, and the Queen seemed very frustrated and upset with Star. The family then decided to go through and look at some pictures in Tom's family photo book. They saw many photos of times throughout Star and Tom's relationship, some of which Star didn't really remember Tom being there for. Star then learned that Tom had built the whole carriage she rode when he invited her to the Blood Moon Ball. He had built it all by himself. Looking at all the photos, Star started to realize how much time and work Tom put into her, and she didn't really appreciate it enough. Looking at the photos made Queen Lucifer very angry, and she left the room. Star was still not quite getting why she was so upset, and asked Tom to explain it to her. Tom told Star that he had talked to his mom about their relationship, and she was frustrated at how Star had been treating him. He then revealed that he knew that she had kissed Marco, and had talked to his mom about that as well. Star was furious with Tom for not telling her that he knew about the kiss, and Tom said that she shouldn't be angry about this, he should. Star was then ready to just leave right then, but Tom tried to stop her, and then all of a sudden a huge lava storm started, but Star was determined to leave anyway. Tom jumped in to save her, and she ended up having to save him when he was hit with some lava. It was then revealed that all along it was Tom's mother creating the storm, and she was just too scared and frustrated that all her anger created it. Star and Tom took a photo with each other, and even though they didn't really apologize to one another, they said sorry and continued with the rest of their day happily. On Spleenix's 14th, someone attempted to yada yada Eclipsa, but it ended up affecting Manfred instead. He was turned to stone. Star was determined to find out who would do this. She spoke to several witnesses and suspects and gathered them all up in a dungeon, but Eclipsa let them all go free, hoping to gain their respect. Star decided to try and help Eclipsa gain the respect of the people on Spleenix's 16th by having her appear on Ponyhead's show that she and Seahorse had set up. Eclipsa was ready to try and sing to them, and sing them a little song she wrote, hoping that they would listen to and maybe understand she was good and wanted to help them. When the commercial came, Star went up to Ponyhead and asked her when Eclipsa would be performing. Ponyhead told Star that no, Eclipsa wasn't going to be on the show. She was going to watch the show. Star got very mad, and so Ponyhead agreed to let Eclipsa sing, and told her sisters to quickly spiffy Eclipsa up. The sisters were taking too long, and so Star came in to tell them to stop, and she found Eclipsa dressed up crazy like some 80s girl. Star told her to stop and fixed Eclipsa up herself. Then finally it was time for Eclipsa to sing, and so Star pushed Ponyhead to the side. Eclipsa sang her a song, but got lots and lots of dislikes, except for one little girl who gave her a nice little like. Star was very sad that Eclipsa did not do well, but Eclipsa explained to her that she would much rather prefer being herself and people hating her than being fake and loved. She was happy as long as she was staying true to herself. It was Spleenix 23rd, and Star had arranged a meeting with the Spider-Bite royal family. They were the only family who were willing to meet with Eclipsa, and Star needed them so she could show the people that they approved of Eclipsa and thought that she would be a fine ruler. Star was ready to meet with the Spider-Bite family and hopefully make their alliance stronger, but Eclipsa was nowhere to be found. Eventually the Spider-Bites came to the door, and Star had to start without Eclipsa. Star was trying to stall time until Eclipsa arrived, and so decided to show them the art gallery and a performance by a monster dance group. Across all of these events, the Spider-Bite family seemed to be frustrated and disgusted by all the things that Star had been showing them. Star finally had enough and told them how she thought it was so rude of them for not accepting monsters and approving of Eclipsa. Just then, Slime entered the room and apologized for being late. He and Penelope then kissed each other, and Star was puzzled. The Spider-Bites then told Star that they had no problem with monsters, they had a problem with Globgor, and that all the things Star had shown them had to do with Globgor's destruction and harm to the humans. Star was very embarrassed by this and asked for their forgiveness, and asked them to please just wait one more moment while she looked for Eclipsa. Star, using the all-seeing eye, tried to find Eclipsa and found her at the top of the monster temple. Star yelled at Eclipsa and told her that she couldn't just be out there doing that, and that she was missing the meeting with the Spider-Bites. Eclipsa gasped and ran downstairs, hoping the Spider-Bites hadn't left yet. Eclipsa apologized to the Spider-Bites and decided to show them Globgor, and that he was crystallized and wouldn't be getting free. The Spider-Bite family thanked them for their nice meeting, and said that they would go tell the other kingdoms it was perfectly fine to meet with them. Once they left, Star asked Eclipsa what she had been doing on the rooftop, and Eclipsa explained that she had been searching for any remains of the spellbook. If she even found a little piece, she'd be able to remake the whole book reappear using Glossric silkworms. Eclipsa asked if Star knew if there were any remains of the book, and Star said no, there weren't. Star then ran to her room and closet and found the one remaining bit of the spellbook she had used to revive Glossric. She put it in a box, hoping to hide it and make sure Eclipsa never learned of it. On Zamaron 5th, Quest Buy had its going out of business sale, and Star and Marco planned to attend. As they were about to leave, Janet appeared and asked to go as well. Marco wondered how Janet had gotten there, but Star didn't care. She was just excited to see her friend again. The store was very crowded, but the group made their way to the employees' room in the back, where no one else was. The room could grant you anything you thought of, and so the group had a lot of fun back there. Eventually it became time to go. Marco made his purchase, and they all said goodbye to Quest Buy forever. On Zamaron 9th, Star and Marco decided to have some cereal late at night, and were being extra careful so they wouldn't wake baby Meteora. Star finally finished her cereal and then left. But Marco remained, staring at the cereal Star had left behind. Star and Tom were talking to one another while hanging out with their laser puppies, and Marco entered the room and told Star he wanted to talk to her about something. Marco explained to Star how he felt obsessed with her and thought everything she did was adorable. Tom stood up and explained to the both of them that he thought their feelings could be because of the Blood Moon curse. Star and Marco were very confused, and Tom explained to them how at the Blood Moon Ball, the Blood Moon chose and bonded their souls together, and would therefore make them in love with each other for eternity. Star denied her feelings for Marco, blushing, and said that she guessed yes, but even if she did have feelings, it was because of the Blood Moon. Marco sadly agreed, accepting that these feelings didn't mean anything and weren't real. Tom then took them to his grandfather's house, where he thought he could undo the power of the Blood Moon. Tom's grandfather eventually came in and explained to them that they needed to go to the severing stone and try to sever the Blood Moon bond. They came to the stone and did as he instructed, severing their bond. When the stone showed them their memory, it took them back to the memory of them dancing at the Blood Moon Ball. They talked to one another there and explained to each other that they did love each other. And what if this was never the blood moon that made them in love with each other? The stone then finished severing, and their memory was lost. Now, knowing that their souls had been freed, the group happily left. Star knew in her heart, though, that she did have feelings for Marco. Zamron 11th. Star had invited Buffrog and his buff babies to a cornball game that she had organized for both Mewns and monsters to play with one another. Star explained to Buffrog that she had known where he was and was able to contact him due to his daughter Katrina, who had been in contact with Star on a daily basis. The cornball game started and the teams were both monsters and humans, but Star wanted the teams to be monsters and humans, and so tried to get them to work it out, but it didn't. Star was so frustrated when all the people kept arguing with one another and being rude to the other about their being monsters and humans. Star tried to get Eclipsa to help out, but she was too busy trying to find and care for Meteora. Eventually, everyone was calmed when they saw their children playing a little cornball game together peacefully. Star and Buffrog agreed that even if the adults never really got along, the children were the future. Zamron 12th. Star went to get the mail, got a message saying someone was holding Eclipsa captive, and if she wanted to free her, she had to find her. Star, Marco, Tom, and Ponyhead then went on a mission to decode their clues and find Eclipsa. They finally found Eclipsa in the Reflecticor factory, where Ponyhead's boyfriend Seahorse worked. Star was aggravated when she learned that Ponyhead was behind this, and that Eclipsa was never really in any real danger. Ponyhead showed Star that she had managed to get people to care for Eclipsa, and had the whole thing on the Ponyhead show, and people were cheering when Eclipsa was found safe. Star was still mad, but was thankful that Ponyhead managed to help. Zamron 15th. Star discovered that Eclipsa had gone into her closet and taken the remains of the spellbook. Star went to find Eclipsa and gave her a piece of her mind, but when she found her, she was in front of Globgor and her eyes were glowing, and Star was unable to speak with her. Star decided she would just wait for Eclipsa to be done. While waiting, Star went over to the spellbook that had now been remade and was sitting on the table in the corner. When she approached it, she realized that it was turned to a page on the crystal pulverizing spell. Several minutes passed, and then Eclipsa came out of her trance, and Star began to give her a piece of her mind. Star then asked how Eclipsa even knew that the spellbook piece was in her closet, and Eclipsa revealed that she might have gone into Star's mind. Star felt betrayed and disgusted, and told Eclipsa how she had to stop trying to free Globgor. And she couldn't do things like go into people's minds. She had to step up and start caring about her people. Eclipsa said she couldn't focus on anything until Globgor is free. And why should she care about her people? They never cared for her. They never even gave her a coronation. Star got very frustrated and told Eclipsa that fine, she would give her a coronation. But after she did, she had to start caring about the kingdom. It was 2 days after their fight, Zamron 17th, that they decided to hold the coronation for Eclipsa. Things seemed like they were going well. Star's mother even attended, but right before she was about to go on stage, Eclipsa ran away to get her new string for her guitar. Eclipsa was taking too long, and so Star went to go and find her, but when she went into the monster temple, she found that Globgor had been freed. Star ran back to the stage where the coronation was being held, and there Eclipsa was, telling everyone not to panic, but Globgor had escaped, and that they all needed to go back to their homes. The MHC then took control of everything. They chained Eclipsa up, put Meteora in a cage, and forbade the people from leaving, saying that they were safer where they were. Star approached Romulus, who was guarding Eclipsa. Star asked to speak with her, and he agreed after seeing that Star probably wasn't going to help her escape. Eclipsa swore to Star that she didn't set Globgor free, but Star didn't know what to believe. She asked Eclipsa if there was anywhere she knew a Globgor might run to, and Eclipsa said the bog. Star asked Marco to keep the people distracted and calm. Star then flew to the bog and spotted Globgor fighting with her dad. But when she saw that he was starting to flee, Star flew after him, telling him that his family was in danger and that he had to turn himself in. Globgor grabbed Star, telling her that no, he needed to get far away so his family would remain safe. Star told him that it was too late. His family was already captured. River then came up and told Globgor that he was a father too, Star's father, and to please let her go. Globgor did so, and then agreed to go with Star. Star then took him to the stage and showed the people that he was not that bad and did not want to bring them harm. Romulus then jumped in, saying that it was time to crystallize all of them. Globgor and Eclipsa then saw each other, but Eclipsa started to get crystallized. Globgor broke free from his chain to try and save his wife and daughter. Globgor agreed that he would go back into the crystal if they let his family go. Star then told everyone that she didn't think Eclipsa set Globgor free. It just didn't make any sense. She then accused Romulus, and he confessed. Romulus was then taken away, and it was decided that Globgor would stay, and the people accepted him as their king. After the coronation, Star and Tom had decided to go on a vacation trip together. They bid Marco and Jenna farewell to Earth, and then started saying bye to their friends on Mewni. Star kept thinking of other people she wanted to visit before they left, but in reality she was stalling due to not knowing where she wanted to go. Tom caught on to this after they visited Star's first spell, Doop Doop, for the first time in over a year. Tom asked Star what was really wrong, and Star told him how things just didn't feel right, and she didn't know where she wanted to go. The two then got into a fight, and Tom decided that he would just go on the trip by himself. Star stood alone sadly, and then decided she wanted to go hang out with Marco on Earth. Marco then revealed to her that his sibling was born, and that it turned out to be a girl, and they named her Mariposa, which means butterfly in Spanish. Xamaron 20th, Star and Marco took their beach day photo, but it didn't make Star feel as fulfilled as she had hoped. Star went to Father Time and asked him why he gave her this photo, and he replied that he didn't, she did. He explained that it was her who told him to give it to herself in the past. Star was disappointed by this, but realized that the photo did give her hope, and so she asked him to please continue the cycle and give the photo to past Star. On Cork 2nd, Tom broke up with Star. Tom had returned from his trip and told her things just weren't working out. Tom then tried to leave, but for some reason dimensional travel wasn't working. Star tried to use her butterfly magic, and Marco tried his scissors, but nothing worked. Tom was forced to spend the night. After dimensional travel failed, Star was determined to find a way back to Mewni to make sure everything was safe. Star thought about how Jenna just appeared on Mewni that one day, so maybe she knew how to get there. Star, Tom, and Marco then journeyed to Jenna's to try to get her help. Jenna told them that she didn't remember, and so decided to reenact what she did that day to trigger it. The crew went through a long day, and Star became very frustrated with Jenna, but eventually they found a gateway to the realm of magic under the burrito store. Star feared that they would just lose their memories and get stuck there, and so they decided to try to summon the firstborn by throwing trash in. The firstborn eventually did come, and she was angry and refused to take them to Mewni. They had broken something in the magic dimension every time they adventured there. Star would not take it no for an answer, and so threw Oscar's car into the well. They all hopped into the car and again told the firstborn to take them, because if she didn't, she'd have 4 crazy teenagers running around there, messing things up. The firstborn agreed and started to pull their car. The group all started to lose their memories, and then the firstborn was attacked by a dark magic unicorn, leaving them there with no idea who they were or what they were doing. They all got out of the car except Tom, and played around until the firstborn had the strength to portal most of them to where they belonged. Star awoke in Doop Doop's shed, confused of where she was and what had happened. Star started to make her way to the monster temple, but quickly stopped at the village her mother had made to try to figure out what was going on. Moon explained to her that the monster temple was under attack and that she needed to go somewhere safe. Star apologized to her and explained that she had to help Eclipsa. Star continued on her way to the temple, and along the way picked up some friends to help her. When Star and her crew arrived, they found Eclipsa shielding herself from a Solarian warrior. Star managed to blast the warrior that they assumed to be Mina Loveberry off a cliff, and postponing her for the moment being. Star then ran to Eclipsa to make sure that she was okay. Eclipsa told her that she was fine, but her husband was not. The Solarian warrior had a sword that had been specially made to defeat monsters in the years of Solaria. Star and her friends attempted to defeat the soldier, but the soldier managed to slash all of Star's friends with its sword. Ponyhead and Seahorse were about to be hit, but Star caught the blade with her rainbow punch fist, trying her best to hold it back. Ponyhead then gave Star some words of encouragement and Star was able to summon a huge rainbow battlesuit around her and fight back against the warrior. When Eclipsa sent a cart of bombs toward them, and in the dust of the explosion, the warrior stabbed right into Star's suit, just barely missing Star, making her fall to the ground. Star was about to be hit again, now too weak to fight, but Eclipsa swooped in and started casting her mother's total annihilation blast spell. A dark butterfly flew through the warrior, leaving a massive hole, and then going on to destroy more things in the background. It appeared that they had beaten Mina. Marco then started to run towards Star, and Star ran to him and hugged him, put her head against his chest, and listened to his heartbeat. Star then asked him what was so urgent, and he explained that Mina was coming to attack, and she wasn't alone. The soldier they had just faced wasn't Mina. Star looked into the distance and saw hundreds of Solarian warriors. Star then called for everyone to retreat into the monster temple as the warriors approached. Mina, in her armor, flew up to the temple and told them that they had until a rooster crowed to surrender and turn in Eclipsa and her family. Star and Eclipsa started to worry. It had taken almost all of their strength to defeat just one warrior. How were they to defeat a whole army? Suddenly, Moon and River flew into the temple on an eagle and said that they were there to help. Star was so happy to see her mother and ran up to her mother and gave her a hug. Star first took Moon to see the effects of the Solarian sword and if she knew any way to reverse it. Moon told Star they just had to take the victims to the magic sanctuary. They then all gathered around a round table to develop a plan. Moon and Eclipsa were going to evacuate everyone, and Star decided that she and Marco would go and get the pig goats. Star brought Marco to the pig goat stable and wanted to get a moment with him before they might meet their end. Star told Marco that she remembered part of what had happened in the magic dimension and that he had told her that he loved her. Marco was embarrassed but told Star that yes, he did love her and that he had loved her ever since she first came to Earth. The two kissed and went back to continuing helping everyone escape. When they walked back into the temple, they were surprised to find Moon and Eclipsa facing each other, having a magic confrontation. Star asked them what was going on, and Eclipsa asked Moon if she would like to explain. Moon told Star that things had not gone down as intended, and then Star interrupted her, asking if she was working for Mina. But Moon told her no, Mina was working for her. Star was devastated and transformed into her butterfly form in anger, shouting at her mother, calling her a traitor. Moon then also transformed and tried to reason with Star and explain herself. Moon detransformed and told them that she was doing this for the kingdom. Eclipsa wasn't fit to rule, and she was the one that got Moon separated from Star. Moon told them that if all they had to do was surrender the crown to her, and she would call back Amina and her Solarian warriors. Eclipsa asked what would happen if she didn't do so, if she didn't do as Moon had asked, and Moon told her that things would get worse. Star watched in sadness as Eclipsa handed Moon the wand. They then all walked to the room where Globgor was resting, and Eclipsa tried to explain to him what was going on. Moon told them all to stop looking at her like that. The kingdom was going to be much better once Eclipsa and her family weren't in it. The rooster then crowed, and Mina came back as she said she would. Mina asked if they had decided to surrender, and Moon told her that they had. Mina then asked Moon to please move a little to the right so Mina wouldn't hit her when she stabbed Eclipsa with the sword. But Moon told Mina that that wouldn't be necessary and that Eclipsa had surrendered, and so she and her family would be sent on her way. Mina was outraged and told Moon that she was letting them off too easy. And what about all the horrible monsters? Moon told her that it was never about harming the monsters. It was about Eclipsa surrendering the throne. Mina said she intended to fulfill her oath to Queen Solaria and killing the monsters. Moon then attempted to take away the power she had given the army, but they all had pledged their loyalty to Queen Solaria, and so only she could take it away. Moon started to realize how badly things had backfired and started to panic. Mina threw herself toward them, intending to kill Eclipsa and everyone else who supported her. But Hekapoo quickly opened a portal under the group and they all fell through. Hekapoo greeted them when they fell in, and she invited them into a tavern so they would get out of the rain. Star entered and could not contain her frustration. Marco got her a drink to try and calm her, but it didn't help much. Star then came to the conclusion that the problem in the world was magic. All her problems were because of magic. Magic was bad, and people who used magic were worse. A server then came to Star and Marco and offered them pudding. Seeing it, Star knew exactly who it was from. She looked over and there I was. Star stomped over to me and grabbed my eyeball and jumped in. Star started to fall through my magic mind, and I quickly made the ground so she could stop. Star then explained to me her hate of magic and how she wanted to destroy it all. Maybe she could say the whispering spell in the realm of magic, and that would fix things. I asked her to calm down and stop thinking crazy. I then made my mind appear as the tapestry room, hoping that would calm her, and left her to discuss things with her ancestors. Star didn't like this and pleaded with me to not leave her. Then Star started to look at each tapestry and say hello to them. As she was doing this, she realized that some of them were missing from their tapestries, and she thought she heard something and so looked over, and there they were, the ghosts of some of her ancestors. They were all standing looking at her tapestry, depicting what might happen if she destroyed the magic. Star looked at it happy, thinking she had found the solution, but then realized that lots of her friends weren't there. What had happened to them? Had they died? Had they been sent to another dimension? Where was Marco? I then reappeared to Star and explained to her all the people that would die, or would have their lives changed drastically if she were to destroy magic. Some from the sword, some from no longer being cured, some from being magic themselves, and some would go to a world where they belonged. Star started to cry, asking why things had to be so complicated. Couldn't she change this? Star felt as if that was the only future, and that fate was set. She told herself that the only way to fix things was to destroy magic, and that she guessed that Toffee was right. The Toffee in Moon's tapestry then shouted surprise, just like he did when Star first met him. Star was then transported back from out of my eye. Marco caught her on her way out, and Star said the only way to fix things and stop the Solarian warriors was to end and destroy all magic. Moon asked Star why she thought this was the only solution, and Star said it just was. Star then asked Hekapoo to reactivate dimensional travel, and Hekapoo said sure. Marco then questioned Hekapoo, saying that wasn't she magic? She died too. They shouldn't be doing this. Star continued to go on and say that all magic was awful, and she should have just supported Toffee in her pursuit to destroy magic, or not kill him and bring the world pain. Moon then turned to Star and begged her, please, could they just talk about this for a minute? Star said fine and agreed to talk for a little minute. They discussed it, and they came to realize that Toffee never really destroyed magic. Sure, he wanted to destroy magic, but even Toffee knew that the realm and world could not exist without magic in it. And if he totally destroyed magic, he would be killing off hundreds. Toffee didn't want to kill people. He wanted the queen to not have power. He didn't want innocents to die. All Toffee did was make the magic neutral, and so the queens could no longer use it. Moon and Eclipsa then helped explain to Star how many people would die, and how destroying magic might doom the world, and could not be the answer. Star agreed, feeling that she didn't know what she was saying and thinking. I then came in and gave them a little riddle of a sort, to let them know if they go inside the room of magic, they could go and talk to some of the past queens. Moon, Star, Marco, Eclipsa, and Meteora all quickly entered the realm of magic. Quickly, Moon and Eclipsa and Star started to lose their memory, but Marco was eating pudding, realizing that it would help him to retain himself. He then got them all to consume their pudding, and they all agreed that I was frustrating and that they wished I'd just tell them things. They all got together and started chanting a spell that Eclipsa knew to raise the dead and to summon spirits. Soon the spirit of the past queens of the current book came, and they spoke to them. Star watched as her mother said hello and goodbye to her mother, who told her, yes, Moon, you made a mistake, but that's something that makes you human. Everyone makes mistakes. You just have to learn from them and be careful not to make them again in the future. After seeing all the queens, Star finally realized what I was hinting at when she connected it with the Solarian warriors. Star told Eclipsa that she had to make up with her mom, because they really needed her help. Eclipsa walked up to her mother, and Meteora squealed a little. Solaria looked down at her, looking a little sad, and then smiled and touched Meteora. Star was happy to see that Eclipsa and her mother were getting along, and Solaria explained that she was at peace, and that all she needed to know was that her daughter was happy. Solaria had been watching all these years, and realized how wrong she really was. Star then asked for my help to get Solaria's spirit outside, But I wasn't going to let Star do anything halfway. Star asked all the queens to touch the wand together, and Star said some words and tried to make it so Solaria's spirit could go with them outside the realm of magic. Star cast the spell, but it was only going to be a temporary spell, so they had to move quickly. They got out right when Mina was about to go through the magic sanctuary to see the sanctuary to the realm of magic, and she was shocked when she saw Solaria there. Mina questioned, asking if this was really Solaria, and what was she doing with all these people? What was she doing with those monster smoochers? Solaria frowned at her, and Star handed her spirit the wand. Solaria then cast the spell to stop the Solarian warriors, who had all pledged themselves to her, and just like that, all the Solarians lost and fell to the ground. Mina stared at Solaria. Why would her queen do this? Solaria smiled once more before she faded away with the other spirits. All of the Solarian warriors had lost their magic, and the monsters who were about to be pushed off the cliff were saved, and without destroying all magic. Moon ran and quickly got everyone to the magic sanctuary to revive and cure them. Many of the people who had been transformed into Solarian warriors didn't really hate monsters that much. They weren't actually that angry, and they all assisted to try to make up for the mistakes they had made and heal all the people who were affected by the sword. They got everyone safely into the magic sanctuary, and everyone was cured just in time. Only a few were really injured. Moon said that she was ready to truly pay the price for what she had done, and Star told her, "You made a mistake," just like her mother Comet said. "Everything's going to be okay." Star then told her that she's sorry and she messed up. She'll make up for that in time, but let's just work on our family for now. Marco told Star that even though they had just gotten together, he wanted to say some words to his parents. He felt as if he was going to die or be lost with them forever, and so wanted to spend a little more time with them, and then he'd be ready for them to talk more about their relationship. And okay, everybody, that's the end of the Star versus Biography Part 5. I hope you enjoyed my alternate ending. One last biography to go. And I guess the next biography will be everything completely new, written by me. I hope you all enjoyed this, and see you for the next one. Goodbye.